still have
A lot of thymus.
a lot of thymus and pericardium kind of in the way.
Which one are
Regular garbage.
Okay.
What's the name of this tissue that you
The
were?
pericardium, right?
This is pericardium.
Okay.
It's a little more pericardium and a little bit of thymus on top of it. I'm just getting that out of your way.
And the blue is just rubber?
The blue is just latex rubber that's injected into the veins.
Okay.
So this is the vena cava. So if we remove this, we cut this, we can actually fish this out.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
wow. I thought it was actual, like,
Okay,
arteries.
so now you can see there's almost nothing left of the vein. That's how thin the walls are, even though it's a main vein, because the blood's coming in under almost no pressure at all. So now, take some more of this stuff out.
that's the negative pressure you were talking about?
No, veins, they don't fill under negative pressure,
Oh.
because you're not sucking blood through the
Oh,
blood.
that's the door, that's
Blood is
the-
always being pushed through the blood vessels. But it's not much pressure. By the time it gets back to the heart, it's almost zero. So it doesn't need thick walls to hold it in.
The semi-lunar valve, it push the blood.
Semilunar valve prevents the blood from flowing back into the heart.
Okay.
Once the blood gets into the aortas, past the semilunar valve, it can't go back into the heart, which it otherwise would. When the atria contract, it squeezes the blood that's in the pulmonary and systemic aortas. But because of those valves, it squeezes it, it continues it on its way rather than pushing it back into the heart. And that's true of all of the valves in the heart and also in the veins. Now here you also have this very nicely exposed, because now the vena cava is out of the way. Now we have you can see coming up out of the systemic aorta, which comes right from the middle, the left ventricle, bottom of your heart there, coming right up out of that. You have the brachiocephalic artery, which branches into the right subclavian and the right and left common carotid artery. Further down the systemic aorta, you have this branch, the left subclavian artery. And then the next thing that happens is the blood from the pulmonary aorta, which comes from the right side,
Oh, there's just so much.
it just, well, it's the specimen is better injected. Yours had more blood in it, so everything kind of looks pinkish, rather than the sort of natural color of the tissue without blood in it. So you have here the pulmonary aorta running right smack into the systemic. Now you can see where the pulmonary branches off into the left pulmonary artery right here.
Yeah.
You see that branch? That's the left pulmonary aorta. But here's the pulmonary aorta. You can see how most of the flow runs right smack into the systemic. And that's what happens at birth. That's the ductus arteriosus, this very big, fat, short vessel that connects the pulmonary to the systemic. And at birth, it pinches off like that. Okay, and then arching back dorsally, you can see the descending aorta,
Oh, okay.
right, or dorsal aorta, but it's all systemic aorta in different parts of its run. And then looking at the other side of the heart, looking at the dorsal side, you can see where we cut the superior vena cava, but here you have the inferior coming in from underneath into the right atrium. All right, so there you go.
And those two things right here?
Oh, up
little-
top?
yeah.
Let me- there's something to point with. This is a salivary gland here.
It's a very nice brachiocephalic.
Yeah.
Brachiocephalic.
Yeah. Brachiocephalic runs from here to here,
Wow.
And then it
and then it goes into
Right.
right subclavian, right and left common carotid artery,
Where's the coronary?
well, this is the left coronary.
That's the sash.
Yeah, that's that left coronary, which branches off right, right under here. You can actually find it if you look for it.
leave?
It's easy part of this tissue here, you can actually find that branch. It's sort of right on top of the heart.
And is this the right subclavian?
That's the left.
The left,
side.
yeah,
Yeah,
left.
yeah. Now this, it looks like you took the thyroid gland out.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. I said you can take it out. This is the salivary gland,
Okay,
and there's one on the other side too. They go pretty deep into the neck. This is the trachea. You can see these rings.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it looks very round and stiff because it's supported by those rings of cartilage.
And the
if we
esophagus is behind
tease
it?
apart some of the connective tissue between it and the esophagus,
Oh,
there's the
there's-
esophagus behind it.
That's one of the best branching of the.
Yeah,
of
I
the
don't
ceph-
think
bra-
we
Of the
Yeah.
brachiocephalic that.
Yeah, that's a nice exposition of the arterial tree.
Wow.
So,
Hi.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay, so, all right, so, okay, you don't mind
No, I'm
cleaning this
totally
up,
fine.
right?
All right,